Thank you for joining me as we look at the political involvement in Tanzania. If you are seeing me for the first time, fate has brought us together. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. Type in the comment Africa number one. Here's a detailed and well-structured explanation of elections, protests, and controversies in Tanzania, along with practical solutions to strengthen democracy and peace in the country. Elections, protests, and controversies in Tanzania 1. Introduction. Tanzania is widely known as one of East Africa's most politically stable countries. However, beneath that stability lie growing tensions, electoral controversies, and restrictions on political freedoms. Since independence in 1961, Tanzania has maintained relative peace, but elections have often been marred by irregularities, opposition crackdowns, and disputed results, especially in recent decades. 2. Historical background of elections in Tanzania. A. One-party era, 1961 to 1992. After independence, Julius Nyerere and his party TANU, Tanganyika African National Union, later CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, established a one-party system. Elections were held regularly but without real competition. The goal was national unity, but it also suppressed political pluralism. B. Return to multi-party democracy, 1992 present. In 1992, Tanzania adopted multi-party politics following global democratic trends and internal pressure. Since then, CCM has won every general election, 1995, 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020, often by large margins. Opposition parties like Chadema, Akti Wazalendo, and CUF have accused the government of rigging, intimidation, and bias. 3. Major electoral controversies and protests. A. Zanzibar elections. Zanzibar, the semi-autonomous island region, has been the epicenter of electoral crises 1995, 2000, 2005, 2010, and 2015 elections all saw violence, intimidation, and disputed results. In 2015, the Zanzibar Electoral Commission annulled the results, citing irregularities, which the opposition claimed was politically motivated. Protests were violently suppressed, and dozens were injured or killed. These repeated crises have deepened mistrust between CCM and opposition groups like CUF and ACT Wazalendo. B. 2015 general elections. John Pombe Magufuli, CCM, won the presidency amid allegations of voter intimidation and media censorship. Opposition candidate Edward Lowassa claimed the process was neither free nor fair. Security forces were deployed to quell demonstrations. See 2020 general elections. The 2020 elections were the most controversial in Tanzania's recent history. Reports from local and international observers indicated opposition candidates barred or harassed, internet shutdowns during election week, ballot stuffing, and intimidation in several constituencies. The CCM and President Magufuli won by a landslide, 84%, while the opposition rejected the results. Peaceful protests erupted in Zanzibar and mainland Tanzania, but security forces used tear gas, arrests, and live bullets to suppress them. Dozens of opposition leaders fled or were detained. D. Political climate under President Magufuli, 2015-2021. Magufuli's leadership was characterized by strong anti-corruption efforts, but also authoritarian tendencies, banning political rallies, restricting media freedom and opposition meetings, strengthening control over the Electoral Commission. Many activists viewed this as a rollback of democratic rights. E. Transition to President Samia Suluhu Hassan, 2021 present. After Magufuli's death in March 2021, President Samia Suluhu Hassan assumed office. She initiated reforms, reopened banned newspapers, released political prisoners, invited exiled opposition leaders to return. However, opposition groups still demand deeper electoral and constitutional reforms before the 2025 elections. 4. Root causes of electoral controversies and protests. 1. Dominance of CCM. Continuous rule since independence has concentrated power, weakening checks and balances. 2. Lack of electoral independence. The National Electoral Commission, NEC, is seen as biased toward the ruling party. 3. Restricted political space. Opposition rallies and media coverage are often limited, especially near elections. 4. Weak judicial oversight. Courts rarely challenge election results or government actions. 5. Use of security forces. Police and military are sometimes deployed to suppress dissent. 6. Inequality between mainland and Zanzibar. Different governance systems cause tension and mistrust. 5. Effects of political tensions and protest human rights violations. Arrests, injuries, and deaths during demonstrations. Decline in international image. Tanzania's reputation as a peaceful democracy has been damaged. Reduced voter confidence. Many citizens view elections as predetermined. Economic disruption. Protests and instability deter tourism and foreign investment. Polarization. Deepening mistrust between the government and opposition parties. 6. Solutions to Tanzania's political and electoral challenges. A. Strengthening electoral institutions. Reform the National Electoral Commission, NEC, to ensure independence from the executive. Involve civil society and opposition parties in the selection of commissioners. Use biometric voting systems to prevent fraud. B. Constitutional reforms. Revive the stalled constitutional review process to limit presidential powers and ensure balance between branches of government. Guarantee fair representation of opposition parties in parliament. C. Respect for political freedom. Allow political rallies, freedom of speech, and peaceful protests. End the harassment and arrest of opposition members. D. Security sector neutrality. Train police and security agencies to act impartially during elections. Establish independent oversight mechanisms to handle complaints of abuse. E. Promote dialogue and reconciliation. Continue President Samia Suluhu Hassan's political dialogue initiatives between the ruling CCM and opposition groups like Chadema and Acti Wazalendo. Use mediation by religious leaders and civil society to prevent electoral violence. F. Civic education and voter awareness. Educate citizens about voting rights, peaceful participation, and tolerance. Encourage youth and women to engage in non-violent political processes. G. Media freedom. Protect journalists and ensure balanced coverage for all political parties. Lift restrictions on independent and community media during elections. H. International observation and support. Invite neutral observers, African Union, SADC, EU, to monitor elections transparently. Encourage donor support for electoral technology, education, and monitoring. 7. Conclusion. Tanzania's democratic journey has been marked by progress and setbacks. While it has remained peaceful compared to many neighbors, election-related controversies, protests, and political intolerance threaten its long-standing stability. A sustainable future depends on inclusive politics, independent institutions, and respect for freedoms. By embracing reforms, Tanzania can strengthen democracy, restore trust, and preserve its legacy as a pillar of peace in East Africa. If you are seeing me for the first time, fate has brought us together. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. Type in the comment Africa #1.